Hello everyone, welcome back to Classic Automotive Services. Right, this week we've just got a little bit of an update on the prototype TR8. So I've been working on it this week, getting the next batch of suspension stuff sorted out for powder coating and getting all the nuts and bolts organised so they can go away for the plating to be sorted out. So there's a lot of it. Everything's got to be stripped down to its individual components. Like the suspension, it's all got to be completely stripped. Shock absorbers removed. It's then got to have all the springs in it. It's just no end of it. And there's a lot of nuts and bolts, which again, a lot of them are different plating to others. Most of the stuff on the back axle, it's got the silver finish on it. Most of the stuff on the front subframe, it's got the gold finish. Why they've done that, I don't know, but the bolts are original, and you can, when you strip the bolt out, take the bolt out, you can see traces of the original plating on a lot of them. So that's what we're doing with it. The back axle, that's stripped as far as I'm going to take it, as it's got no backlash in it at all. It's silky smooth. It feels perfect, so it's not going to go for powder coating, as I don't think it's a good idea powder coating something like an axle. Especially as if you strip it all down, get it all powder coated, or blasted first, then powder coated, you get a lot of dust and debris inside the axle, which it's nearly impossible to remove all of it. The companies, powder coating companies, they don't clean the insides out properly. They always come back with a slight dust residue inside them. So trying to get rid of that after it's been powder coated, you're going to start damaging the finish. It's just not a good idea. It's going to go through the differential, cause a lot of wear. It's just not a great idea at all. So the back axle, it's absolutely silky smooth, got no backlash in it at all. It feels absolutely perfect. It's the correct ratio. I've checked the ratio. It's the correct ratio for TR8. It is the original axle out the car. But what we're going to do with it is I'm going to wire it all down with different types of wire wheel to get into all the nooks and crannies, and then it will be epoxy primed with PPG DP90, which is probably the best one on the market. It's got a slight acid in it as well, which bites into the metal, also stops rust coming back through because it's a rust inhibiting primer, and it also gives you a really hard finish for the next type of paint to go on. So it's going to be done with the PPG DP90. It'll then be done with the 2K satin black and then lacquered, so it's the gloss finish. It'll have all new gaskets and seals. The bolts here will be renewed as well, so it will look brand spanking new when it's done. So that's the back axle. The suspension we've got mostly stripped down now into its individual components. The last bit I've really got to do on the suspension is press the ball joints out on the lower control arms. They're extremely tight, so I've got to press them out as they're going to be replaced anyway. The subframe, if I grab the subframe, if I bring it up here for a second, that's in exceptionally good condition. So again, this will be blasted and powder coated. It'll have the same treatment as the stuff for the engine. It'll be done with the zinc rust inhibiting primer to start with, then the black over the top, so it'll look absolutely spanking and brand new. Some things to look out for in these TR7 and 8 subframes is these cups in here. They rust and rot. It's very important that they're not rusty and rotten. These ones are all absolutely perfect. And another thing to keep an eye out for is these holes on the lower control arms. They have a habit of wearing and getting elongated. This one's absolutely perfect, so it's going to get blasted and powder coated. If it wasn't, it'd be a case of replacing it or repairing it, but that doesn't need to be done. So we've got everything there for the suspension. Brake discs, these will get I'm going to get these blasted, as they are proper TR8 brake discs. There's virtually no wear on them, so I'm going to chuck them in with the blasting. to hopefully be able to reuse them, see what they're like when they come back, maybe get a very light skim on them if they measure up okay, but we'll know more when they come back from being blasted. As TR8 discs, they're getting hard to get hold of, and when you can get hold of them, they're a lot of money. I know where I can buy new ones, as we fitted new ones to the green TR7, but they're around about £300 for the pair, so they're a lot of money. And if they're good and usable, we'll use them. If not, obviously they'll be replaced. So that's all the suspension. I've still got the radiator pack to disassemble, as well, as that's going to get powder coated, and we're going to send the radiator off to our local radiator shop and have it recored and upgraded, and the aircon rad as well at the same time. So there's a lot going on at the moment, organising all the parts to go off and be refurbished where they need to be refurbished, and then when they come back I'm going to be assembling all the components and rebuilding it all. So there's a lot going on. We've got the injection system all finished now. If we show you that, I say it's finished apart from one little component, which I'll show you in a minute. So that's all back together and looking absolutely spectacular. It works as it should. If I just support that, it all works beautifully. So I have got to take the plenum back off to fit it onto the engine, as I've only put it on loosely for now, just so it's complete. As to fit it to the engine, the wiring loom goes sort of underneath and round on all the injectors, and in between here and the manifold, it'll have a special type of sealer. It's an anabolic sealer, which is designed for joining two metal surfaces together, so you don't get any leaks or air leaks or vacuum leaks. So that'll have to be done, but obviously I can't do that until it's on the engine. But the one part we are going to have to sort out for the injection system is this little gadget here. It's to do with the EGR system on the export models, as this isn't running EGR, but it still has this unit on it. And this pipe here, it's got coolant pipes go to it. It's rotted and collapsed. So we've got to have this repaired, as you can't get them. It's nearly impossible to get one. You can't even get the gasket for it, let alone the unit. So it has a metal type gasket on it, so we'll have to make a new gasket for it. And this one's completely just rotted. There's nothing left of it. But we will repair this. It's quite an easy little repair to do. I'm going to get 2 new pipes made and then have them fitted to it so that it is completely original. So we could, in theory, if you're not doing a completely authentic restoration on it, you could blank this off on the bottom of the manifold and link your 2 coolant pipes, but we're not going to do that. It's going to put that together exactly as it should be, so we've got to repair that. So what else have we got? Generally all the nuts and bolts and fasteners for suspension and everything for it. So there's a lot of it going on. The body shell is coming back on Tuesday, so we're looking forward to seeing the shell come back from the dippers. So that'll be in next week's video. But that's as far as we're up to with the TR8 at the moment. We are just going through all the parts and getting it all sorted. I haven't heard from the machine shop on the engine this week, as they're ordering the pistons in to rebore it, as we said in last week's video. That's about what we've got for the TR8. The White Stag, customer's deciding what he wants to do with it, as after we done a bit more diagnosis on it, it looks like the heads, it's either going to be blocked head gaskets, holes in head gasket, or it's going to be a fault with a water pump. Either way, we're going to have to start stripping down the inlet manifold and check the pump first, so he's in 2 minds whether he wants to do it or not, or leave it. So he's sort of contemplating what he wants to do with it. But other than that, we have not really got anything else in this week, so we've just been busy on the TR8. So obviously we've got the Red Stag, which we'll be pushing on with shortly. We've got all the panels for it now, so we're just waiting to find a week where I can jump on it and make a good start on the metalwork. For the guy, I don't want to do just a day here and a day there on it. I want to get on it and do like a week on it and make a big dent in the metalwork on it. So it's just finding that week at the moment. So I think that is all we have this week. So please like and subscribe, and look out for next week's video when we have the shell back, as we're quite excited to see it, and it's going to be quite nice to see how good it is, because I believe it's pretty much like it was when it was new. So yeah, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.